This week we've got a bonus one for you, but our first one up is the 5th installment of Die Hard.
And when you get to the 5th installment, it really brings up questions, and everyone's wondering, can it live up to the hype of the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th? Because the Die Hard series has been pretty good. I think the first one is still kind of the barrier that's set. It's the line that everyone's trying to get to when they make out these second ones. And I think the second one has a bad rap because it didn't really live up, but it still was a decent movie on its own. The third is a lot of people's favorite. Samuel L. Jackson comes onto the scene, and they have a lot of rhymes and things they have to solve. Then the fourth one was kind of a new age turn, and it still wasn't bad. So the fifth one, the big question, could it compete? Could it live up to that name?
Yeah, that was a big question, and of course there was some time between this one and the fourth Die Hard that came out, so what was this one all about? Time now to grade this movie for you. Will, you're up first.
Well, I don't think it lived up to the name at all, and to be quite frank, I think this could have been titled anything because it really had nothing to do with the Die Hard series other than the name John McClane. They did not fill in any holes. They did not fill in any gaps that had happened in this time that you're talking about from the 4th to the 5th. And really, I think there was 25 minutes of actual great movie in this, and everything else was just kind of blah. Like, I started thinking about, what am I going to watch when I get home? That's how bored I got at some point in this movie, Al. And I hate to say it because I was really, really looking forward to this, but it just didn't do it. I felt like they had this book, International Espionage Movies for Dummies, and they looked at that and they wrote it. Let's throw in some, this file that we need to find, and it was just right out of the handbook, and it really didn't do it for me. I'm giving it a D.
Oh boy, you know what? The only thing I disagree with in that whole, diatribe that you gave was, you said there was 25 great minutes in that.
I didn't say great. 25 watchable minutes is what I meant.
I still didn't find 25 watchable minutes in there either.
I found it at minute 15 to about minute 30 was, okay, that's 15. That was okay. And then later on, there was a little section where I was kind of interested. But once the plutonium came out, and it was just like, wow, who would have guessed it? I really just...
Yeah, let's go kill some Russians. I mean, that's very 1980s, all right, very Die Hard, I guess.
You have the American,
Sure, the American in Russia. Let's go to Chernobyl. I mean, it seemed like not only... Out of that playbook you were talking about, that playbook would have been from the 1980s as well.
Yeah.
So I agree with you on the Die Hards for the most part. I thought the first Die Hard was a great movie.
Right.
It had so many great elements to it. The second one I didn't like because it was the same plot. But I agree with what you said. Standalone, if you'd have just seen Die Hard 2 and never saw the first one.
You thought it was really good.
Right, and you'd have been okay. You didn't even need to see the first one necessarily. By the time it got to the third one, I'd had enough. The fourth one I thought was one too many, definitely. This is two too many, definitely. Now, I will say this, the one positive, if you like to see things blowing up, if you like car chasing scenes, if you like to see people die and getting shot, okay, that's all this is. But that's all you should go to it for. There's no plot.
And you do not need to watch any of the first four to know what's going on here at all.
No, there's no character development. And to be quite honest, I kind of knew what the goal of the movie was, but not exactly. I mean, there was no nuance to it. There were some truly impossible situations that to me just got too many to bear. Jumping out of a 30th story window, and then, oh, by the way, here's a scaffolding you're going to fall on, and down a chute you go.
Very convenient.
Believe me, I'm not giving away any part of the movie by telling you this. But I
don't think you can give away this one.
No, I mean, you know what it is. It's all action. It's all shoot 'em up. I thought that I was going to undercut you on this, but unfortunately, we give it the exact same grade. This, for me, gets a D as well.
It's not a very good grade.
No, it wasn't.
But you had the actual pleasure of going to see another movie this weekend.
I did.
Which you didn't invite me along.
No.
But Beautiful Creatures, how was that?
Well, I felt I needed to see it with the females, so I took our producer, Kathy. And that's because, it's kind of a female-type movie, and this is one of those where I have to step out of what I would particularly like, I guess, because this isn't a movie that I would normally go see. But I saw Beautiful Creatures. This fits right into the vampire, to the zombie, to the witches theme. And with this movie, once you suspend all that, I thought the story itself wasn't bad. I thought the character development wasn't bad. Maybe not great, but not bad. Jeremy Irons impressed me the most as a supporting actor here. I think he's a phenomenal actor. He even said this was him out of his element a little bit. It didn't look out of his element at all. He did a great job. The other actors did as well. My problems with the movie was maybe the relationship between the caster, because they don't like to be called witches, and her boyfriend was a little bit too syrupy, a little bit too perfect. The guy that just supports you no matter what. I'm there, and you can't break spells.
That's kind of how I am.
Right, exactly.
It's not too perfect.
You're the only guy that can do this stuff.
Okay.
Besides Will Hewitt, there's nobody out there that can pull this off. But nothing can break these spells except for, well, in a couple situations, love. And our relationship can maybe break through in certain situations. Again, a little syrupy for me. If you're a teenage girl, it's probably not going to bother you. Probably, give it the, oh, that's sweet. But overall, not a bad film.
What's
not
your
a
grade?
bad plot. I'm getting there. And even not a bad ending. I give it a B-.
Okay.
So, and if you're a teenage girl, for you, it's probably like an A-. But for all the rest of us, if you're going to go watch and appreciate it as a movie, I say B-.